Aries Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need read for this March into April 2022? I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president on Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle, link in the description box, creator on Patreon, patreon.com/Drawing the Circle. I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. And I'm feeling good today, feeling the vibe. Welcome aboard. If you're new to my channel, a 7-card draw is just one card from 7 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about a specific astrological timeline, which we'll talk about in a minute. We are doing a waning moon read this time, so shadow work is involved. That's why it's called a shadow read. To get you clues, tips, and hints about, letting go, releasing, forgiving, alchemizing, from letting go, surrender, the waning moon stuff. Particularly, I'm going to say the dark moon, the 3 days before, the balsamic moon, the 3 days before new moon, because it's new moon in Aries we're looking at. That means there's going to be a dark moon in Pisces. Yay, said the Pisces moon. So I'm going to do my best to get you what I can here. Let's look at that astrological timeline. We're looking at the full moon in Virgo, Friday, March 18th, 3:17 a.m. Eastern. I am in New York. And then the 2 weeks following the letting go, the boop, 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 the shrinking, the releasing, to the new moon in Aries on Friday, April 1st. Yeah, I know. At 2:24 a.m. So you get to wake up in that new moon, April Fool's Day vibe there. So, I mean, this is your sign, right? This is your new moon of the year. So let's really do this, right? It's a general read. And take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It's 7 cards. 6 out of 7, pretty good deal if it resonates that much, and certainly your sun sign might get a different scenario, a different situation dealing with the 2-week period. So let's have at it. Enough. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I incarnated to do, apparently. Breathe. And here we go. We're going to start with the Caroline Mace archetype deck, representing the 8th chakra. The chakra right above your head, which holds the archetypal patterns, the soul contracts, your own sacred contract. It's the home of the archetypes, the soul power that you are learning about. It sets the electromagnetics for the rest of the chakras, what you attract and you repel. One more nice deep breath. There we go. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for the Aries collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What is their 8th chakra dynamic to indicate the shadow work? Shadow to light, pain to peace, lead to gold, toxic to healthy. This waning moon, full to new, March, April 2022. Well, this is in the title. So you knew in a way before I did, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, the vampire archetype. Well, let's just say, as usual, the series is off to a bang. Thanks, Aries. The vampire archetype. There is a video that I have on YouTube called Witches and Vampires, talking about the vampire archetype, the Celestine prophecy I go into. I mean, there's a lot. It's a lot. It's a 2-hour thing, but it's free on YouTube. You might want to check it out. The shadow is the shadow work indicated. The light is what you are shooting for from the shadow, the lead to gold, the toxic to peace. the healing, the shadow. Oh, it's a wild card family archetype, which, by the way, means it doesn't always show up in the romantic sexual genre. Absolutely a family member. Anybody can vampire somebody. And we've all done it, right? Reason, season, or a lifetime. Everybody gets drained, and they might be draining. But when it's a lifetime vampire, the shadow attribute, depleting others for your psychic survival. Chronic complaining and codependency. Oh, when it's chronic, everybody has bad days, right? And that's what I mean. It could be for a reason. It's like, look, the more you become aware of it, right? You go from being the vampire to the vampire hunter, makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force, right? And allows you to look in the mirror. And that's the thing. A vampire can't look in a mirror. So your ability to reflect upon that yourself, right? Because we all do it, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And no vampire is really happy, right? There's pain underneath that. It has to do with the feeling of being disconnected from source. Right, the sun blows you up. It's a long story. Bram Stoker. Oh, good God almighty. I mean, I have slayed so many vampires in I was just thinking about the vampire archetype today. I'll save it for a podcast. Oh, we got to do that for Path of True Love. Oh, yeah. Okay, so moving along. The next 4 chakras down, right? Crown, third eye, throat, heart. That vampire archetype, watch your throat chakra, because this might not be you, right? You might not be necessarily, you're dealing with the archetype. It's in your 8th chakra, but you might be dealing with people who are draining you. So for the waning, let's see, this is the feminine energy, the yin, the goddess energy, the psychological world, the world behind your eyes. So we're using Daughters of the Moon Tarot, my favorite tarot deck on earth. Breathe. We are certainly off to a bite and a bang as I call upon my goddesses of fire, the sign of Aries, powers of the south. Please leave the card in my hand. What is your guidance and grace? What's going on, heart, throat, third eye, crown, for the Aries collective? With that vampire archetype that they're going to have to deal with somehow this full to new. March, April. 5 of Cups, the storm. So we are looking at an emotional shift here. In Daughters of the Moon Tarot, the 4 is sorrow, right? Like I say, it's like anything on the emotional guidance scale below bored. Anything above that's great. This is tumultuous. This is emotional. Chronic codeplaining, chronic complaining and codependency is certainly not coming from a calm place, right? So there are emotional things going on here, but 5s are numbers of change. Minor arcana, particularly heart, throat, third eye, crown. We're looking at heart chakra here. There's a lot of feelings going on here, and probably a lot of conflicting feelings. Because vampires bite the throat, that's how you express yourself, your choices, your decisions, your willpower. It's actually your element of fire. And it's tricky. It's tricky, particularly when it's a family member, right? Someone that you live with. That is definitely a situation. So the next card is going to be, I have a feeling you from at the outside looking in, but it could be this vampire person too. Remember, nobody does it because they're feeling great, right? Just another form of addiction, codependency, right? It's a lethal addiction, just like really all the others. It's not sustainable. Unless it is, unless you make it sustainable. So let's look at the lower 3 chakras, relationships in the outside world. Like I said, you from the outside looking in, you from the inside looking out at someone or something. If it's root chakra, it's tribal groups, any more than 3, a major to minor scale of that. Second chakra, one-on-one. Umbilical cord kind of thing. It could be that, but we also do learn codependence from our tribes, not just our genetic family ones, but in school and in the workplace. It just is what it is. It's one of the 4 ego wounds. abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss, right? According to Matt Kahn, and I agree. Because the soul doesn't interpret them or experience them that way, the ego certainly does. So let's get this on the table. Breathe. Well, it is a shadow read. Thank you very much, whoever. Probably Carrie Fisher. She's like, well, it is a shadow read now. So, I call upon my gods of fire, the sign of Aries, powers of the south. This is in Aries, and they don't usually hold back. So please, one card in clarity, the outside looking in, and the inside looking out. Lower 3 chakra, masculine energy dynamic. What's going on here with that vampire in the 8th? 5 of Cups on the inner. Show us what's on the outer, this full to new. Wheel of Fortune. It's about time. It's about time. And I mean that in a couple of different ways. Yes, the colloquial, oh, it's about time. We got around to this. Well, I think that's true. But this is about time. This is developed over time. This is something that was written into the script of your lifetime before you ever incarnated into it. It is contracted. It's part of the thing of divine timing. You know, okay, this is the new teaching, and it's not a new teaching, but my guides have been running it past me. 4 words, time is my ally. I know you don't believe it. I know you don't feel it. And yet, it's always been the truth and always will be. It's just that's not how the ego sees it. That there is a weaving of something here that has been going on for a while, and we are looking at a waning. So as much as the thread of the fates is spun and measured, it is, of course, cut. Maiden, mother, crown. New moon, full moon, dark moon, right? So there's something going on here that is part of your soul's journey. And that's why it really doesn't matter what form the relationship it is. We all have to learn this sooner or later, because unless, of course, somehow you escaped having codependent wounds, which I'm sure is possible. I don't know how, but I'm sure. With some way, shape, or form. So let's ask the Ascended Masters, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn, as I mentioned. Let's see what hits the table to help you heal this. A little mantra goes a long way. Breathe. There we go. I'm gonna call this for what it is. As I call upon my Ascended Masters of vampire healing, vampire hunting, the codependent ego wound in soul contracts. So really, the Ascended Masters of soul contracts, whether it's group soul family stuff or individual soul contract with another, please, one card in clarity for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Watching this video, receiving this reading, help them. Give them something to heal with here that they can use the throat chakra with to alchemize this vampire from lead to gold. 5 of Cups going on the inner, and the Wheel of Fortune turning and the web being woven. This full to new, balancing the brain. I can be and do all at once. It's a very simple mantra, but it really is about balancing your masculine and feminine dynamic. Left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain. What we're shooting for is synthesis, right? And then unisys, that thesis, antithesis, synthesis, right? Balancing the brain. I'm gonna read that from the bookie book. But it feels like I can be and do all at once. Keeps you in the present moment enough to know that you can be mindful about what's going on without necessarily reacting or getting drained. Awareness is key. That's why vampires can't look in the mirror, because then they would become aware of what they were doing. And you can hold up the mirror as much as you want, trust me. No bueno, don't work. It doesn't work. It's like, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to really want to change. Balancing the brain. I can be and do all at once. When the brain is balanced, you are no longer bouncing back and forth between being and doing. like like dealing with it inside of yourself and then having to deal with a vampire. Certainly, you allow each action to be expressed from a space of mindfulness, peace, and ease period. So, in other words, you're maintaining this. This mantra is going to help you move this from the 5 of Cups to the 6 of Cups, which is not a huge leap. You're going to be there eventually anyway. You allow each action to be expressed from a space of mindfulness, peace, and ease. In a balanced brain, each inner battle has been won, which makes it easier to navigate those whose minds are still entrenched in conflict, their own inner conflict. I mean, you got to admit, vampires are conflicted. I mean, you never see like, yay, the happy vampire show, right? They're all like dark and tragic. Even Vampire Diaries did not go well. You know, it's a thing of you really being present in the moment, being mindful, and instead of reacting, right, actively or passively, an ability to really stay in balance and just be authentic in the present moment. From this space, you are able to do all that needs to be done while operating from your soul's natural state of being. And you know what? You can't drain the sun. Your soul is immortal and eternal. It is not just connected to source. It is source. Right? Go ahead. When I deal with vampires, I'm really a vampire hunter at this point, and there's a way to be a vampire healer. It's in the video, but you have to kill the vampire that sired them, and that's symbolic, trust me. Although I understand wooden stakes work on other types of beings as well, like anybody, through the heart. Thank you, Terry Pratchett. But there is definitely healing available here. For sure. Pop the tick. It's like, oh, you're going to try and drain me, are you? Watch this draw down the sun, regardless of the time of day. It's still shining somewhere. This mantra is ideal for reducing stress at work. Codependent Vampire Boss. Sounds like a CW series. Being a more mindful parent and increasing levels of accountability. Right. You could say, you know, taking account of things within your life, being authentic in that moment. Look, it's time. It's time. And to better, even if they're going for your throat, the brain can be like, you know what? In this present moment, I can breathe. Right? In this present moment, I can come from a place of, even if what I'm feeling is uncomfortable, I can act according to something that I am in control, is my choice, not what they try and get me to do. Work. Raised by vampires. Okay. Let's get the voices of the higher selves of all involved. This should be a doozy. The voices, the Whispers of Love Oracle, the voice of the higher selves of all involved, not just you, but whoever else this is, another person or a bunch of people. Breathe. And no flippers for the Virgo when he's shuffling. One more. Nothing as exciting as a vampire read. Okay, except a real rock-on true love read. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved. 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. What is the whisper of love for the Aries collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the vampire in some way, shape, or form while they're at storm. Heart chakra, Wheel of Fortune on the outside. This is written, this is scripted, but they have free will as to what they want to do, and therefore to balance the brain, they can be and do all at once. What's the piece of information, inspiration, insight you have for the Aries this new full to their new moon? Practice compassion. See things from a different perspective. And I'm going to say compassion for yourself, your first house. First house dynamic. Balancing the brain. Be really compassionate with yourself when dealing with vampires. Carolyn Mace is the one who turned me on to the depth of the vampire archetype. I couldn't tell you what book it's from, but I'm sure the seed was planted in Sacred Contracts, the book. I'm sure she did an audio on it. It was on iTunes back in the early 2000s, I think. So this is powerful stuff. This is life-changing stuff. But understand you're dealing with a vampire in a shadow read. So the feeling of the feelings that you have, that's what I mean about being. It's like you don't have to pretend to be something that you're not. And if you want to feel the intuitive guidance and grace, you got to let the storm pass to get the 5 to get to the 6. Practice compassion with yourself. And do understand, these people were bitten. These people were bitten. That's the idea. There's a family dynamic. And again, if it wasn't in the family, it was in the schoolyard. It was, wherever. And it can happen any time along the path, right? It doesn't have to happen at childhood. So there's a lot at stake. The Divine Animals Oracle, right? If you're going to do the shadow work, you might as well have a little help from that particular pantheon, which I love. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the spirit animals and totems for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, please. Who walks with them? Who flies with them? Who swims with them? Who crawls with them? Giving them the guidance, the grace, the support that they need. Work in the shadow work here with the vampire in the 8th while they're at storm as the Wheel of Fortune turns, balancing the brain and practicing compassion. This full to their new moon, March, April 2022. The Jaguar. Jaguar. Is it Jaguar or Jaguar? It's Hall & Oates. It's Hall & Oates. I know it's Jaguar. My stepfather drove a Jaguar. I think they might still have one. I don't remember. Yeah, they do. Release. Like a massage. Release the Jaguar. All right. Well, good. Yay. That's kind of sort of what you want to do. Now, that could be emotional release, too. Card number 9. And this is connected to Ixchel. I think IX_CHEL. Something. Yeah, she's the Crone of Swords and Daughters of the Moon Tarot Blades. Jaguar, keyword release. Release what you no longer need. Take action to move something from the ideas world into the physical world. Let go of the old and stale and choose renewal. Wash away the negative aspects of the past. Surrender it all and embrace the new. Well, I mean, there you go. In terms of a shadow waning moon, there it is. The magic. Call upon the releasing powers of the Jaguar woman Ixchel, IXCHEL, I was right. When you are ready to let go of something, whether it is an excess of something, a bad habit, a disease, old patterns, Ixchel is a powerful discharging force. For those who are getting ready for birth, she is a wise guide and will assist you to have an easier birth. So it is. It's the release to create something new, and that is exactly what a waning moon is for. So, in that balancing of the brain, there absolutely could be a release of emotion here about this person, maybe reminiscent of being bitten in the past. Remember, vampires exert control. And good luck trying to control an Aries for too long. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it depends on other planets in your chart, but, once bitten, twice shy. Well, if that stuck in my head, and I'm okay with that. Nah. Once bitten, twice shy, baby. Let's get the Blessed Bee card. The hidden blessing, the gold hidden within the lead. If you do the alchemy of the shadow work, it's there all along. You just got to do the transformation. And we do as fun as I'm trying to make shadow reads, we do the blessing for real. So let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the pantheon of all pantheons, all traditions, all lineages, and all cultures, please, what is the hidden blessing for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, watching this video, receiving this reading as a result of the shadow work? What's possible? What's probable here? The blessing already in play with this vampire. So making them aware that someone or something is draining their life force. And emotionally, I think they know that that's true with that Storm card, the Five of Cups on the inner, and the Wheel of Fortune. This is just something they came in to learn, in to deal with in this life. It's in a divine timing pattern. And it's time. The wheel is certainly turning, and they can balance the brain, be and do at once. They don't have to project into the future or be too much in the past. That they can really do this in a balanced, healthy way as they practice compassion, seeing things from a different perspective, and maybe a little Hanged Man tarot card energy there as well, with that Jaguar magic of release to help them release. Let go and let God. Let go and let Goddess. Receive all energies that they have created, releasing it to the greater power of love. Hoping and feeling that all things, and knowing that all things are becoming fully balanced in their own time and place, and that there is a greater good manifesting in the now. What's the blessing for them? This, oh my goodness, this full moon in Virgo to their new moon in Aries, with Ixchel giving birth and something new being created. March, April 2022, a blessing to lift sadness. I mean, it's not like those bitten by vampires. I mean, unless they're turned. Guillermo. Don't get me started. I just started watching Our Flag Means Death, or I forget the name of it. It's 3 episodes in. I'm like, oh my god, I need a break. It's a lot, but it's gorge. Card number 30. A blessing to lift shadows. What do you think? I do this all day long? What do you think I do? Watch the news after I do this? I do. I do. But enough silly. Let's do this for realsies. Please take a nice deep breath. Pantheons, bless them through me. Card number 30, a blessing to lift sadness. A blessing to lift the sadness that cloaks you, yet retain the wisdom and lesson it has come to teach you. Sadness is a strange friend, a gloomy mist of feelings that moves through you slowly, stilling the growth and dampening the fire within. It can feel like a death, this farewell to joy. Yet within its sorrow, there await your greatest gifts. So, when the time comes for sadness to move on, we will ask for this blessing to allow it to slowly, softly lift from you. A diver who has been down deep beneath the oceans, and as you rise, may it be slow enough so you can adjust to the happiness that will begin to flower again in your heart. May your breath become deeper, your smile begin to light up your face again. May your eyes widen and sparkle with the wonder of all that is about you, and may your limbs find joy in movement once again. May you rise, and with that rising, bring with you the teachings of the sadness you have experienced, yet be free from the heaviness that has weighed you down so far below that you seemed apart from other people. May you rejoin others and find pleasure in company once again, and find solace in the sharing of your experiences. May you not hate the sorrow that came to stay a while, but know its presence brought you something holy, a lasting compassion for the suffering of others, and the sure knowledge that as you once were below, you shall surely rise. And if it comes to stay again, you will not fear its permanence, for it is temporary in its companionship, and you will again become a creature of gladness, to balance the time you have spent within the care of sorrowful knowledge. Be blessed as the sadness lifts, and when that morning breaks and you feel light and glad, and laughter bubbles up from within, remember that the wheel turns. And take the joy and shine it out to the world. Your candle is relit, friend. It is time to brighten all who meet you with the presence of your light. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So motivating, and so it is. And if you're an empath, what you think this won't bless the world? One of us heals, all of us heal. Work. Vampire at storm. Wheel of fortune. You can heal this. Be and do all at once. Practice compassion. Release what needs to be released little bit by little bit. It's a 2-week period. And the blessing to lift your sadness is there. The alchemy. Looks like someone's going to do some vampire slaying, maybe more than once. So if you liked the video, if you found it helpful, then please hit the thumbs up. We need the other Aries to know for surezies, right? And if you want more of me here on YouTube, hit the subscription button and the notification bell, because I'm putting out these videos when they are ready. In fact, I'm leaving a week from today to go to Saratoga, so I'm doing this way in advance to get them done, because I gotta pack and clean the house. And certainly if you want to come Patreon on Patreon. I'm taking work with me anyway. I always do. I am a Virgo. Otherwise, seriously, let me know. Just put like 1 or 2 words down in the comments. Who's the vampire? I want to know. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of this. Thank God I turned it around to fun again. 7-card draw shadow read. This to your new moon. Full to your new moon. March, April 2022. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.